It's the rock and roll and coffee show. Yeah, with Joe.
Hello.
Hey, Bobbie, it's Joe. How are you?
I'm good. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me get this.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
Okay.
Was rushing to get this thing set up. I'm always, I was just telling somebody else, one of the other weeks that I've been rushing to get back with these baseball games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With your first son? Yeah.
Yeah, but I made it. Once again, I made it. So here we are.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So where are you, in Louisiana?
Yes.
How long have you been back there?
Since COVID. Since COVID hit, I just came here to be with my family because I figured that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And, I moved here and then it's been bittersweet, I'll have to say.
Has it?
Yeah.
It's got to be hot there, right?
It's hot, it's humid. I got a stalker and identity theft and super weird shit going down. So it's been different. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that a little bit later. But I used to live in Florida and it was very humid there, I remember. I'm in South Carolina now. And actually,
it's not humid there?
It is. It does get humid, but I'll tell you what, at that baseball game, I was freezing my ass off.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
I can't say that about here. I just know that, the weather is completely unpredictable at all times.
Yeah, especially compared to California. It's beautiful weather out there.
Yeah. But apparently the homelessness has taken over all the beauty there.
Oh,
so
man,
I don't know.
Bet. Yeah. I used to live out in Bakersfield. You familiar with that area?
Yeah, I am. I've been there a couple times.
Not much there.
Yeah, no. Maybe some meth labs. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But all right. So let's, I got my coffee. You got some coffee? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you drink coffee?
I do.
Okay.
I really do.
Well,
I'm a big coffee freak. So is my daughter.
Well, there you go. Rock and roll and coffee. Nothing better, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about your history. And you grew up in Louisiana, so you kind of went full circle now, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I never had planned on coming back so soon. I was going to come when my daughter got pregnant, but she's like 29. So
yeah,
I came back and, I guess everything has its purpose, right?
Yeah. What was it like growing up there? What do you remember about it?
It was chill. I mean, it was okay. It was, I had nothing else to compare it to. So, but I always really wanted to like get out, you know what I mean? Like I always felt like there was something else somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, I graduated high school and I did that. Yeah.
Did you travel before that or no? Before you got out of Louisiana?
Did I what?
Like, did you go anywhere else when you were younger out of Louisiana? Did you travel?
No.
No.
Like, did we travel or anything? No, not really. I mean, maybe by car.
Mm-hmm.
I was really little. And then I went to like El Paso for the Miss Teen pageant. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you were growing up, I mean, what was it that you wanted to do when you got older?
I wanted to model. However, it was kind of like I was always told that being pretty was what I did best in a way. So it was kind of, it was like, okay, I guess I have to do that. And also there was a lot of self-sabotage because, getting paid off of what you look like is also an inner screw over, like in your own mind. Like, can you cuss? Can I cuss on here or not?
You can do whatever you want to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was like, it's kind of a mind fuck in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard, it's hard. It's, you move somewhere and it's completely competitive. Everybody's there trying to, make it or whatever. And, I guess I just, never wanted to part that bad, or it was like a scary existence to move there, not have family or friends and everybody trying to, fuck your man or your job, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So,
well, you got started in Star Search, correct? Was that kind of like your big
It was
thing?
Miss Teen Louisiana, and then
So that was first.
I did audition for Star Search, I believe, within the first year I was there, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, first year, probably, yeah. Or second year, at least by the second year.
Mm-hmm.
And
then how did you get on the first time you auditioned?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
then
did.
is that when you went on your run? Because you won like, what was it, 13 in a row or 13
Yeah.
times or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, it was 13. More than anybody in any category, but then lost the 100 grand.
Yeah.
But
What happened with that?
the girl apparently, like, there was some judge bribing going on. That I found out about later, and then my agent was all, "Do you want to, pursue this?" And I didn't want to seem like a sore loser, so I just kind of let it be. But it was pretty shocking. But yeah, I just kind of let it go because all the reruns, I got a bunch of work from it anyway. But the 100 grand would have been nice for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who did you lose to?
Exactly.
Right.
Her name was Debbie James.
Debbie James. Okay, that's right. That's right. I knew that.
Yeah.
I think, but
Yeah.
didn't she?
Where now? I don't know. But
Didn't
yeah,
she get married to?
I have no idea. Honestly, like I've never even looked it up.
I'm gonna have to. I think she got married to Bob Eubanks.
Seriously?
I think.
Wow.
I think he married a Debbie James, and I'm pretty sure it was that one. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong
Bobbie
before.
Banks. Why does that sound familiar? Was that like?
Didn't Bob Eubanks, wasn't he somehow related to like Price is Right stuff?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit.
Gonna have to check that out.
Maybe she did well. I don't know. Who knows?
So, I mean, that must have pissed you off, though.
It was like shocking because Ed started to say my name and then looked down at the paper because I guess he assumed I was going to win too or whatever, and looked down and changed it. So I was like, did you mess up? Or, and then
Yeah.
it was all her. And so I kind of was upset at first. And then I was just like, whatever. Okay, it is what it is. But I didn't want to, like, make a scene.
Yeah.
I didn't want to seem... Sorry, I'm choking on my coffee.
You okay?
Like a sore loser,
Your coffee.
Even though I could have been, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after Star Search, is that when you went out to California?
No, I moved to California when I graduated high school.
Okay, I'm trying to keep these timelines together here. So how old were you in Star Search?
So it was 1990.
Uh-huh. Okay. So,
And then that's when I shot the Cherry Pie video, was the end of 90, like October 90.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, you were living in California when you did the Cherry Pie video.
Yeah, so I graduated in 87.
Uh-huh.
I believe I moved out there in 88 or 89. And then, like I said, within 2 years, I did Star Search. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so you were out there when you did Star Search.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
That's where I'm messed up. Okay.
Yeah, I was already out there.
I get it now. Okay.
Yeah. And then that's where Jani saw me, was on that show, and that's how I got the audition for Cherry Pie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now when you first moved out there, what was your first gig that you got?
The very first gig that I got was the Hurricane video, I'm On To You.
Right. That video, I was just watching that video not too long ago, and I was laughing because you were like with that guy tell me about that video. There was a guy and I saw him taking you out of a car and you guys were arguing.
Right. So I guess essentially the story, so there was a scene where the guy who's like supposed to be the manager or, the entertainment dude or whatever,
right,
is like a secret low-key pimp or something. And they told the guy to like grab my butt. So when he does that, I didn't know that was coming. So I just looked at him like, what the fuck? And like walked away. But that's what they wanted. And that's why they, told him to do it, and me not knowing about it. But that was like, you can see at the end of that video. So I got in a fist fight and a girl kicked me in the face, and I had like a bump on my nose. At the end of that video, you'll see me turn to the side and you'll see that's pre-nose job. And pre-boob job, too. Like, no boobs.
Uh-huh.
So, I was, like, fresh. That was a fresh...
Yeah.
That was a fresh me. Yeah.
A fresh Bobbie. Now,
Yeah.
I was laughing at that video because, well, a lot of those videos, when you watch them now, they're kind of funny. But
Yeah.
You were arguing with that guy in the alleyway, and then you walked back to your car, but there happened to be a band playing in the alleyway.
Right. Right. And then they suddenly were like, hey, girl. And I suddenly had this really cute hat on.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah. None of it makes sense. But, yeah, that was the first job. And I'm trying to think. And then, things happened after that. Like I was getting a lot of work. I never had to get a part-time job, which was really lucky for me. But,
So you got work the whole time you were out there?
I got more. Yeah, I didn't always do the work because I was so lazy and entitled. But
were you?
For no good reason. But yeah, I was constantly offered work and, put in situations that you're like, is this what I want to do? Or, I mean, for somebody to have that job, it was great money, but like, I'm super impatient. I don't bend to people's will. I'm not an exhibitionist. I'm not like gonna fuck somebody for the part. Like
Right.
I had like so many rules for my own self, even though I still couldn't navigate it by myself without being on drugs, kind of. It's a lot to deal with. Like some people are like, what would you tell your daughter if she wanted to do the same thing? I'd be like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that thing. Like I don't recommend it at all. Especially for young girls by themselves,
Did what did your parents think of you going out there by yourself?
Well, that was my mom's like a stage mom, so that was like awesome for her.
Uh-huh.
And I guess it was cool for them.
Yeah. Okay.
In a way,
So a pretty girl going out to Los Angeles by herself. I mean, you had to get a lot of shady people coming on to you, right?
Yeah,
in the
boyfriend
industry.
that I moved out became like an asshole. Like he became jealous. He wanted to make it. He moved out there with me, and he wanted to be a musician. And he became like super jealous and like, did you fuck that photographer? That kind of thing. And burned all my photos, cleaned out my bank account, like did all this stuff, beat me up, like, and he finally goes home, and then my uncle like evened that score. And he got back here, so for me, it was
good job,
so
Uncle.
Drama, like so crazy, but yeah.
Okay, so then you went on after the hurricane video. You had jobs here and there, correct? That's what you're saying. And then
jobs, commercials, stuff like that, catalog work.
And then how did you hook up with Great White?
Through my agent. So I had a really good agent, and they always, booked me through my agency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And was that because you were on the cover of their album, right?
Yeah, the Times, was it Times 2 or?
Twice Shy or something like that?
Yeah, Twice Shy. Something about 2.
Something with 2.
Twice Shy, yes. I did like 2 of their videos, and I was on their album cover. I think it was the second cover that they released. Yeah.
Yeah, and the videos you did were Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and...
House of Broken Love.
Okay. How come you didn't do the Save Your Love video?
What do you mean? From them?
Yeah. Since you did the other 2.
Save Your Love? I don't know, because they didn't ask.
That's a good reason, I guess. I was just curious, because you did those 2, and then there was that. I think that was off the same album. Might not have been. I don't know.
No. Honestly, I never really followed rock music, because I wasn't really that into rock music, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I followed Motley Crue when I was younger in high school, but like, they were like the first rock music I kind of listened to, and it was kind of because everybody else was, but I was more into dance and pop and, R&B and stuff like that, but it's weird that I'm dating rockers or always got rock parts, rock roll.
Yeah, you're kind of associated with that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, I didn't even know who Warrant was until I showed up on the set and somebody said something about their number 1 song that they had. Maybe it was Heaven before that. And I was like, oh my God, you guys sing that song? And they were like, oh, okay, please. Like, okay, good one. I was like, no, I really didn't know.
Yeah. So tell me about that. So hooking up with Warrant and the Cherry Pie video, how did that all pan out? I mean, how did it come together?
Jani saw me on Star Search, and they called my agency to have a meeting, and then I didn't go because I was hungover or something. And then they called back and said, they called and said you didn't show up. And I'm like, wow, okay. Because, most companies just like, whoever comes, great, you get the job or not. But they don't ever call and go, so-and-so didn't show up.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like in trouble, and I had to go meet them the next day, and that was the final offer. And I walked into the restaurant where Jani was with his manager, and they were like, "Okay, you got the job." Oh, there's a mosquito. That's another thing about Louisiana, the freaking mosquitoes.
Yeah, they'll get you. Watch out for those
Oh my
things.
gosh, they love me, and it's like I can't even have the door open for 2 seconds. So annoying.
Well, make sure you get them before you go to bed, because that's the worst, when they're buzzing your ear.
Honestly, though, that one's like around my screen right now. Yeah, just hoping to get a taste of my sweet blood.
He's waiting.
Yeah.
All right, so you missed the first one. You were out partying or something? What you said you were
Probably.
hungover?
I mean, if I'm being honest, yeah, probably.
Yeah. You were a party girl?
I was, but not like because I loved it. I was just a boyfriend kind of introduced me to Coke and all that stuff, and it was so prevalent with my agency to be like, you have to lose 5 pounds by the weekend. You have a bathing suit job, and so it was very easily gotten and distributed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then you kind of like that effect, like, oh, I can eat like a pig and then lose, 10 pounds by Friday. This is cool.
Is that encouraged by the agencies sometimes?
It was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it totally was. Like, I probably did more drugs with my agent than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's got to keep you looking that way to get these jobs, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. And funny thing, he died was it 2 years ago? And his wife called me and said, you and 2 other girls were the only girls he just absolutely loved. And I spoke at his funeral and everything.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, I didn't know. It's been like 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you missed the first one. You walked in, you met him at the restaurant, or
yeah.
And then what happened?
They said I got the part.
As soon as you walked in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I walked in, I introduced myself, I sat down, I took a fry off of Jani's plate, which he hated, I found out later. And
he didn't like to share, huh?
You got it. I was like, okay.
Was the whole band there?
No, just Jani and the manager.
Okay. And then, so when you went in to do that shoot, was it planned out? Like, did they give you a storyboard of what was going to happen, or did they just send you in there and turn the song on and let you go?
No, they kind of like, I think they had like a day before where they were trying to like get me to try on that red wig that was on the cover. And I was like, I'm not wearing that.
Uh-huh.
And they showed me the storyboard and I was like, I'm not doing that. I won't do that. Like there was way more like misogynist type situations that probably would have been banned as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they wanted me to do. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like I butted heads with the, director the whole weekend.
Oh no.
Yeah, he annoyed the crap out of me. He actually showed up at my book signing last year and was like, "Hi, do you remember me?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "I directed you in the Trey Pipe video," and I was like, "I hated you. Oh my god,
you're that asshole."
Weird. Yeah, it was so weird. I would have never picked him out of a crowd, but I did say that at my book signing. I was like, "Oh my god, I hated you." He's like, "Will you sign this?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's funny.
I did not like him. He was so annoying.
Ugh.
But I got paid a lot for like rock videos back then. That was like the least pay, and they paid me well, and as they should have. It was a very long and exhausting, shoot.
It looks like it was fun.
Do a lot of stuff that I didn't want to do, so it was a lot of butting heads. But Jane was cool. The band was cool.
It looked like I mean, at least you guys portrayed you were having a great time.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's like a scene you can tell where I'm so pissed. It's like I'm standing on the lips couch, and my face looks like dead and energy, just like so annoyed. I know that I was pissed there because, it was obvious, but he just thought it was a sexy bitch face. It wasn't. I was pissed. You could tell.
You must have been sick of that song by the end of that weekend, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a bad song. It just definitely sticks with you, and I think that was the whole point of why they wanted him to write that song.
Yeah, but doing videos, they play it and play it and play it, right?
Yeah. So,
and that song, do you think, all right, let me ask you this. Do you think that you made that song or that song made you?
Both.
Yeah.
I think that I helped with the song, and I think that song helped me. I mean, it's why we're talking right now, in a way.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's what makes me relevant. And although that wasn't what Jani wanted kind of to make him, you know what I mean? Like he didn't want to be known as the cherry pie guy, but at the end of the day, it was worth it. And, he was so generous giving people percentages of, the writing credits. So, Warrant still gets to have a paycheck to this day. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that song pretty much kept them on the map.
Yeah, I know. So,
did it, I'm sure it opened a lot of doors for you after that too, right?
oh yeah, for sure. Oh my God, totally. 100%. I mean, there was a time where I was like, oh, I'm so sick of it. But how stupid was that? Like, as you get older, you realize what's important, what's petty, what's stupid, what's, makes sense. Live and learn.
Right. So, I mean, at that time, you were the hottest thing out in LA, from what I remember.
I get.
Yeah. I mean, especially in the rock world. It was you and Tawny Katane, I think, that were pretty up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, did you let your ego get out of whack, or, I mean, how did you take that?
I mean, it's always nice unless somebody's delivery was completely unacceptable, and then I could go from like 0 to dick in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I never let it really. I mean, I guess I could look back on some stories and people would think that, but it was just really a front always.
Uh-huh.
If I was ever weird or, bitchy, it was just a front, or I hadn't slept in a few days. Who knows?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. Like third day, you're like bawling, crying, or yelling, or both.
Yeah.
You don't know why.
And people like, what the fuck's wrong with this girl?
Yeah, everything's so emotional, dramatic. Like, yeah.
So you met Jani at the first time during this whole interaction, and was it love at first sight or no?
For him, he says it was, but not for me. I was dating someone at the time. And yeah, so it took a while for me to come around on that front. Mm-hmm. And then that guy screwed me over. And then I reached out to Kathy, who was married to Joey, who I'm going to see tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She lived by you?
Told her that, what had happened. And then Jani called me like within 5 minutes.
Okay. Were you married to, or not married to, but were you dating one of the Nelsons, Matthew?
I was.
At that time, right?
Huh?
That's who you were dating at that time, right?
Yeah, and he couldn't stand it. Like, he could not stand the gravity of how this song was taking off, or the video. Because, they were competition, I guess, that time. And everything was like, did you fuck him? Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So that all ended really badly.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
All right. And then how soon did you guys get married after you met, you and Jani?
Let's see. So that came out in October. We were married the following July 27th. Yeah.
So not long.
No, not long at all. Yeah, he proposed right away. Then I got pregnant and had to move the date up. But yeah, we did it all pretty fast, which, I wouldn't recommend anyone doing, but at that age, I was going to tell a 21-year-old that, they know what's up. Like, because everything when you're that age. You're like, oh, don't tell me what to do.
Right. We've all been there, I think.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. So you did the video shoots, and then you did some TV. Did this all come after the Cherry Pie video, or did you do some? Yeah. Okay.
Everything came after that.
Okay, and you worked on a couple episodes of Married with Children.
Yeah, did 3 episodes of Married.
How was that? Was that a fun time?
Yeah, it was. I had just had my daughter, and I was like in great shape, and just working right away, and it was good. And then for them to bring me back, which was awesome.
Yeah.
For the it was like a twofer. It was called what was it called? It's like the grocery store episode, and I was in like a 2-part. And I think my name was Nibbles or something.
Nibbles.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. And Ed and the son kept throwing shit on the ground for me to bend over and pick up, kind of.
How many takes did you do on that?
I wasn't a good actress So I remember I had like one line of like 3 words or something. And I said the line so many times that it came to a point where nothing sounded natural. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Because you're saying, like 3 words over and over in every way. And then you're like, how do I even say this natural anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bizarre, but it didn't take that many takes. I tried to be as natural as possible, but I admit I'm not a good actress. So,
You don't
yeah,
think
it was
so?
bad. Do
Has
what?
you don't think you're a good actress?
Not really.
No. So
No,
would you take on any big acting roles? Would you attempt it?
no. Like I was offered a lot of big acting roles, and I was scared to death. Like I couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I don't like making myself cry or think about like I can't get into the method thing. Like if you wanted to hire me for comedy, that's fine
Yeah.
because that's easy for me. I remember I did like what was that TV show that Stacy Keach revisited as it's like a crime show that Stacy Keach did. I can't even remember, but they hired me for this part that I play a killer. And at the end, he shoots me and I die. And it's like the funniest dying scene you've ever seen in your life. Like, so embarrassing, but like hilarious. And I was like, oh my God, it's so bad. I remember they hired me for that. I was like, I can't even believe I got this part. Like, I'm a psycho killer.
You're pretty intimidating.
Out with Stacy Keach, and then he kills me, and my dying is like ridiculous. And I can't even watch it.
Oh, geez. Is that out online anywhere?
I mean, yeah, it's old. It's from a long time ago.
Okay.
What is the name? I think if you looked up my IMBD or IMDb something, it's on there.
All right. I'm going to look for that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I did a couple of movies and a couple of like roles, but I'm like, God, it's hard to watch. First of all, I was so drugged out. I'm so skinny.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just not a good, if they're like, make out with that guy, I'm like, no. I think I was just difficult, I was like, no, I'm not doing anything I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Dumb. Just, it's like, if you're in it, do it. If you're not, then why are you in this career anyway? Kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But, so have there been any big acting parts that you turned down that you can say?
Yeah. Like Robert De Niro called Tommy to ask him to let me audition for the part that Sharon Stone won the Oscar for. It was a casino.
Really?
Casino. Yep.
So that part that Sharon played?
Yep. And
wow.
Bob De Niro called Tommy to talk to him about letting me audition. And he was like, no. So.
Huh.
Yeah, lots of shit like that.
Yeah. Do you ever look back and wish you would have went for it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know that I was capable at the time. And my relationships kind of took over everything and I let them, which is something I don't recommend people doing. Yeah, I just, everything came really fast, really easy. I was so clueless and I thought, I was going to look like that forever. You know what I mean? You never think that like, you're going to age or nobody's going to want you or you can't book a job. Like, it just doesn't even dawn on you at that age.
No,
Kind of weird.
I understand.
So, yeah, I do. I have a lot of regret. I do, but I don't live there because that can become an art and I don't want to live in regret. So,
sure.
Yeah, I made a lot of really stupid decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When, let's back up a little bit to you and Jani. Now, Jani was a big drinker, right? I don't know his drug use, if he did any drugs or not, but he was into alcohol,
drugs,
correct?
Yeah. It was a problem. That is why I left him. Mm-hmm. But his drinking wasn't even close to how bad it got. Mm-hmm. I left him. So that said, it was an issue when we were married and it just got worse for him.
Now, were you doing these drugs and everything when you guys were married too?
Oh, yeah,
so,
I was.
So you guys were a dangerous combination?
Pretty much, yeah. I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do them on the daily. I got worse too, obviously.
Okay.
But, yeah, it was like, it was weird. Like, I didn't really get to know him until many years later, and I didn't know him for who he really was. Like, there's so much I didn't know until later. Like, when we were married, we were just kind of playing house. It was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Two young, famous people, you know, trying to, like, pull it off. It was really hard in Hollywood, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So after you guys split, you were together, what, a couple years, a few years?
We were together. We were married for 6, but we were only together for 2.5, almost maybe 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you split, then you soon after that got engaged to Tommy, right?
Right. So I was still with Jani when I went to model in Miami, and Tommy was there dating my roommate. And he and I got along great, had so much fun. I didn't know that he was, like, falling for me or whatever he said.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jani and I split, like, he was still trying to call me, and I was like, I'm with my husband, like, you know. And I had went to rehab from Miami, and a lot of stuff transpired, and then I found out Jani cheated, so then I left for good. And Tommy was, like, waiting in the wings. It was kind of like the same thing like Jani did with Matthew. Tommy was, like, right there, you know?
So you had him in line.
I guess. I mean, I was pulling him with a child and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird. Yeah.
This is Tommy Lee we're talking about, too, for people that listening that aren't aware, from Motley Crue.
Yeah.
All right. So then when you split with Jani and Tommy took advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, how long were you guys together before you got engaged?
6 months.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's a little pattern going on there.
A full year. Like, lived together. Like, he moved me in prompt.
Uh-huh.
I took everything over right away. And that's just kind of how he does things. And, you know, thought I was in love and all this stuff. And, you know, but then again, the controlling aspect of the whole situation wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And I have a big mouth. I'm very argumentative. I am also a spy. I will find shit out. And you know.
But I mean, going into a relationship with I don't know Tommy personally,
I mean, what
but
was I expecting?
Yeah, what were you expecting when you're dating these rock stars?
You think that you can change people, and you can't. You know, that was me. Or he wouldn't do that to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. No.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Just stupid. Just young, stupid antics that you don't know any better, and you don't listen to anyone telling you better because you have to learn the hard way. Just, you know.
Yeah. So then why did you guys split?
The physical abuse I was not down with. I was raised in a household like that and was not about to subject my child to the same environment. And I was still very much in love with him, but for that reason, that's why I left.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after you guys broke up is when he got with Pam, like quickly, right?
Yeah. Like, yeah, very quickly. Yeah.
So that had to be devastating to you.
Yeah, I would say that would be the beginning of my, like, big time downward spiral into drugs. Yeah. Like, got to 90 pounds and was
90 pounds.
I couldn't go outside with the paparazzi being everywhere and, like, bringing that up, or go to a party and somebody putting the sex tape on as a joke, like, just whatever.
Oh, geez.
It was, like, everywhere, and I couldn't escape it, so I just did more drugs. Yeah.
Right. And that, okay, all right. So then you got through the drugs.
Yeah.
And then what did you do after that?
You mean like, I mean, I can still try to work. I still pursued my life. You know, there was a lot of, like, trust issues and stuff I had that I had to work through, but literally, you know, if you're a red flag for anything, I was, like, down for it, obviously. My picker is broken. I'm very codependent. And so I refuse to date now because I don't trust that aspect of myself.
Sure.
Right now, so.
Have you ever tried to date a non-celebrity?
Yeah, and it was worse.
Really?
It was worse. Yeah, because I thought that would be great, and I intentionally tried to date someone that was, like, normal, and they felt inadequate, emasculated, kind of, like, treated me like shit because nobody ever had really, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know how to keep a hot girl, treat her like shit, is what he told somebody this person. It was it was bad. And so, yeah, it was like that. And I just went, okay, forget it. I'm over it.
Yeah. Huh. So what year was this? Where are we at in the timeline?
Oh, like I was with that guy for 8 years, like the longest relationship I've ever had, stupidly, obviously. But it's like, the whole time that it's horrible, but you are questioning how this person can be treating you this way and why. So you're always trying to prove yourself, which I was doing, but knew I was miserable. It was horrible. I like brought out the worst in me and that person. It was very bad. But this was like at the beginning, it was probably 2014, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So this was around the time you wrote your first book?
Yes.
Okay. Dirty Rocker Boys is your first book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't read that book. I started reading your latest book, Cherry on Top.
I read the first one because it's like continued. Like the second book is a continuation of the first.
Well, I like to do things backwards.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't get Dirty Rocker Boys in hardcover anymore. Unless I really pay for it.
They don't do it in hardcover. I recommend doing the audiobooks because I record them myself and I feel like it's more intimate because, I do voices, you can hear the emotion. It's I really prefer those versions, but yeah.
Yeah, see, I like the hardcover books. I don't like the paperbacks. I won't get a paperback, but
yeah, I know. I don't like any of those, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I'll find it. I'll find it one of these days and get it at a decent price. It's going for quite a bit right now,
What's going for quite a bit?
Your first book, hardcover.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, it was like $75.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I wasn't going to pay $75, no offense, but that's a lot of money for a book. Yeah.
Well, it was listed in the top 50 in Rolling Stone's the top 50 best rock memoirs.
Did you ever think you would write a book?
I always wanted to.
Did you? Okay.
I was promoting the first book before I'd ever written a page, honestly.
Yeah.
I just kind of was just putting it out there. Because I had been mentioned in so many rock books from guys, and I would be like, yeah, that didn't really happen, or no, it wasn't like that, or completely omitted. So I just felt like there's no woman's perspective from that time, that's honest. Yeah. And I just felt like it would be perfect for me to just set the record straight and be self-deprecating, and honest. But yeah, so a lot of people weren't happy about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you get a lot of backlash from that?
Kind of. Yeah, a lot of confrontations, from people. Obviously, rock stars have an ego that is just can't be matched anywhere. And God forbid, anything said about them, whether it's good or bad or just in general. So yeah, there was quite a few people that had some unhappiness towards my revealing, stories that were true, but I just, replied with, be thankful I didn't tell the whole story or everything. Be grateful. I mean, I wasn't trying to ruin lives or throw people under the bus. I was just trying to make it interesting and be honest and not, ruin anyone's life.
I mean, it was your book. You were telling your story.
I was, from my perspective.
And they happen to be in it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What are you going to do, right?
What are you going to do? I mean, there's nothing you can do unless you exaggerate or elaborate even in any way, shape, or form that's not true. Somebody can actually be pissed and sue you. But so, yeah, as long as you're telling the truth, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah. So when you released that book and it was pretty successful, I mean, were you surprised how successful it was?
No, because I thought it was a great book. And I still do. And I love that book, and the book company did right by me. The second book totally screwed me. Horrible book company, total ripoffs. I won't even.
The first book or the second book?
Yeah.
Which one?
Cherry on Top.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Why? What happened with that?
This is a company from this dickhead guy who owns this company, and basically he would just agree to sign books that either had really good selling first books or the person was famous, and give them contractually everything that sounded like really cool and fair, like, oh, I'm going to, actually make money on this book or whatever, but give you a low offering fee that obviously, and they give you no receipt. So put it this way, I never got paid for anything. I got the initial writing fee, which was $7,000. Simon Schuster paid me $50. You know what I mean? And the guy had the audacity. I'm like, the most sales for me on this new deal was audio sales, because I got 0 on the first one, which is ridiculous. I didn't know better. So now the second one, I'm thinking I'm going to, actually make this, contract right for me. And the guy replied, I messaged him, I still have not gotten one single dime from this book, nor did you release, the soft cover, which was going to be another payment to me. They literally just did no advertising, no publicity, nothing to, they won't even show me a receipt. So the guy writes me back 8 pages saying, you should be lucky I'm not suing you from what? Just ridiculous. This guy's just a con artist. And then I did some research on him and other people who had deals, and to no surprise at all, everyone's like, this guy's a con artist, blah, 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 all this shit. And that's exactly what he did. He totally screws everyone over, and you don't get paid. And he doesn't show receipts. He refuses.
Did you go into this deal on your own, or did you have an agent?
I went into it on my own. Yeah.
Bobbie.
I know. You know what I mean? So stupid. But, my friend just did a book with them. And I thought, they're it's coming, trusted source. And she got screwed over. Everyone gets screwed over if they do a book with them. So I don't promote that book anymore. And if I do, I tell people to buy it off of my website. So at least I'll get paid for it. But yeah, they're really shady. So shady.
What is your website? Where can people go to get it if they want to get it?
Here, I'll let you know. It used to be, hold on, let's see. I just had to redo it because my stalker took over all my accounts, 40 plus accounts for the last 8 months. And I just got back in all of my accounts this past month. So
yeah, I want you to tell me about that.
Oh God. It's so triggering. There's a whole interview about it that I did recently, step by step. All that they could do was, destroy the girl's weapon, which is something, but nobody here knows how to wrap their heads around forensics or stalking crimes, because it's not something that they're used to here. So unfortunately,
that's crazy.
It's just been bullshit all over and over again. Hold on now. Okay. I'm trying to log in and it's saying, hold on. So yeah. And so the computer stuff freaks me out all the time. If I can't get in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's constant. It's constant. So now I'm not able to log in. Anyway, it's Bobbie Brown Shop. There it is. Okay. So it's Bobbie-Brown-Shop myshopify.com.
That's a long one. Okay.
And I actually have one that I did.
I'll put that link in the show notes under this podcast so listeners can just click on that.
Okay.
I'll go find it.
Trying to figure it out. I know I bought a domain for it, but then it's just been a lot with the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So your stalker, that started when you went back to Louisiana, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first person I reached out to with a fake magazine, did an interview, and she bought my name, my idea. She literally was me within 3 weeks. She would come over, how a friend goes, hey, what's your Wi-Fi? And you're like, oh, it's whatever. You just don't automatically assume this person's a malignant narcissist who's going to try and kill you.
Yeah. So she had a plan from the start.
Oh shit. Yeah. I don't doubt for 1 second that I'm the last person currently, previous, this is her end game. This is what she does.
Yeah.
And most people just ghost her, I guess. And this is I thought I was IT savvy. No, this is the difference between being IT savvy, with someone who has good intent and someone who does not are two totally different stories. So with her evil intent, she was doing all kinds of shit I would have never thought she was doing or capable of doing. But was like, I just found out she collected all of my unemployment.
What?
Yeah, as me. Because I remember when my card came in and it declined from California, that I was like, why is this declining? I had to prove I was myself, but she didn't have to prove she was not me.
That's so fucked up. I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah. So I had to go to court, get documents, go get my birth certificate, do all kinds of shit to prove myself because she was collecting the unemployment.
But somehow she just got in and changed something.
I got in like 2 weeks ago and found this out because I was like, whatever happened to that? You know, I went there and it's like, oh yeah, $8,000 later. So then I'm trying to contact them to report fraud, and they're like, why do you think? Because I know, because she did this to all my accounts. It's just been a lot. Like she was heavily invested and probably still is.
Yeah.
And trying to like ruin my life. Like she wanted to be with me. Like she's gay.
Yeah.
And I was not having it. I was like, yeah, no, I don't care. Like, you know, and she took it. These people who are crazy like that, they take it as like, first of all, you're not supposed to aggress them, which I did. And this is how the gun happened. Showed up at 3 a.m. with a loaded 38. Like it was my stepdad was trying to like diagnose me. Like, are you bipolar? No, this really happened, you know?
Yeah.
So, cause they're not IT savvy. They just learned how to text, you know, my mom and stepdad. So he's like, are you writing a new book? Like, no, this is real. Like, I'm so freaking out. And they just think I'm losing my shit. But I was like, this is, you know, when it comes to unraveling how many things that she did, and I had no idea that she was even capable of. She locked me out of my own computer as an admin. What? How does anyone do this? Like,
right.
Literally. Yeah.
Is she still out there?
Oh yeah.
She's not in jail or anything.
No, because it's about the proof, right? So, you know, I back up my computer, get a hacker, do a police report, get a restraining order, blah, 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 do all that shit. And forensics just are like, yeah, we don't, you know, thanks for the files, but they don't know what they're doing. So, you know, then I have an attorney who wants $5,000. I'm like, I'm not giving you $5,000 unless you can tell me that you can actually do something, because it's about the proof. So they're expecting me to find the proof, you know, what can I do? I can give you the logs. I can show you that somebody's accessed it. But how am I supposed to prove it's actually her, except for she's the only one who did this to 40 other accounts during that time frame? That's all I have. I can show you the police report. I can show you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just never going to go down the way I want it to. And
right.
It's just, it's triggering over and over, every single day when I try to log into something or, you know, open a magazine here and see that, you know, my face is promoting dildos, you know.
That you know nothing about.
Honestly, like really. Like, my promotion for some co-hosting thing since last November has been collecting ticket sales on Eventbrite, and I didn't even know about it. Like, so weird, just weird shit. Like, I don't know. She was pretending to be me, acting as my manager, you know, as me online and my social accounts, cleared out all my money everywhere, every way that I made money. She cleared that out, all the bank accounts,
what a nightmare.
Opened businesses in my name, many businesses, that I've had to pay to get cease and desist on LLCs about that I didn't even know were in existence. And then I get like a business card for something, or it was just like so crazy.
It
never ended.
It sounds like an emotional and financial nightmare.
Everything, just like personal violation, everything. You know, just not what I anticipated.
Yeah.
You know, coming into when I came here at all, and you know, like it's been a very hard road to try and recover from. I'm like not still completely recovered. You know.
Yeah. Well, one piece.
I'm always
at a
looking
time,
over my shoulder.
Sure. I mean, you have to, especially, I mean, someone like you that has, you know, people know who you are, you know, they're going to go after you.
It's just bullshit is what it is.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit. And it's hard to imagine that people like this exist, but they do. And,
Well, I heard that story, and when we first started communicating a few months back, remember I texted you and I said, "How do I
Like, is
know
this
this?"
real Bobbie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
how do I know this is the real Bobbie Brown? And
Yeah.
I remember you sent me back. I was laughing when I read it back. You said something like, "This question goes both ways," or something like that.
Yeah, it's
like,
true.
I was like, "Well,
Honestly, because she would like send me, messages from my mom's phone number, but really it was like a clickbait thing.
that's
Just
scary." Yeah.
was in my phone, was in my computers, was in all of my devices, like everything. She was
Yeah.
like on my shit. She would show up, get a restraining order for 300 yards away. She would show up somewhere knowing I would be there 400 yards, and I'd just be like, oh,
Yeah, that's
And
scary.
then I got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna fucking bum rush this bitch. And people are like, well, she's got a weapon, so bad idea. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, no, and everybody apparently it's like no big deal just to get a gun and carry it around here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never anticipated doing that. Yeah.
Well, all right. So you started getting into comedy
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in this whole story, right? How long ago did you get into comedy?
Probably about 2.5 years ago, maybe.
Okay, so you were still out in LA at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and why'd you decide to do that?
Because my brother moved away and with my nephew who's 2.5, and I would see him every single day. Like that was like the whole reason, I had a purpose, and I would love my family, and they decided that they were moving to Minnesota, and I just knew I was gonna lose my shit and go dark, and so I was like, I have to do something, like throw myself into something that will distract me from like just going off the deep end because I was so sad, and I thought that doing comedy would do that. I learned later that it doesn't do that. It didn't really do that, but it did, distract me. And like, I've checked this off my bucket list and accomplished it and, did it. And I liked it. I didn't love it. Like, I've had interviews with many comedians and they were like, oh no, the moment I hit the stage the first time, I knew, like, it just clicked for me. This was like, I dropped everything and just pursued. I was like, yeah, didn't feel that way for me.
Didn't work that way for me. Yeah.
Because it didn't, making other people laugh doesn't change, your psyche. And honestly, most of the comedians are pretty morose on it. Like backstage are all, ooh.
Yeah.
They like telling you like crazy shit and you're all, I don't think I'm that fucked up to be that, you know what I mean? Like, do I need to be that fucked up to be funny? Or, because I found that was consistent and I thought it was a little weird. So, being funny and making people laugh are two different things.
Sure.
So, learn that. But I did well. And, I will do it again. It's just not like I can't relate to it like they say they do. Like, oh my God, it was like that, that was it for me. And I was like, yeah.
So so you're still pursuing it though?
Yes, I'm not. I haven't given up on that. Like the pursuit of it hasn't been easy because there's nowhere to stand up. But will I accept comedy gigs in the future? Absolutely.
There's got to be comedy clubs out there in Louisiana, no?
I mean,
how far
honestly,
are you from like New Orleans?
Baton Rouge is really like scraping the barrel over here with like education, wits, work, anything that I'm good at is not, they don't have it offered here.
Uh-huh. And
really.
Are you willing to travel a little bit to go do some comedy? Yeah.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So do you have a, like being a comedian, do you have a set, like a set list like a musician would have? Do you have set jokes that you try and keep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing writing comedy for so long. And that's what I'm good at. And so I have so many sets that I've written. And it's the only thing is getting it recorded. Like I have one set that was actually recorded, but like I did most of my stand-up at the Laugh Factory at the Comedy Store, and they absolutely refuse any recording. So, recently somebody asked me they were trying to get me a comedy booking, and they're like, send me a full set. So I sent them what I had, and she was like, have you ever worked with a comedy writer? Like, you need a new set. I go, I have like 30 new sets. There's just been nowhere for me to stand up or be recorded. That's
Yeah.
the only one that's been recorded, and that's what you asked me for. So,
Yeah.
I sent that, but it's not a matter of lack of material. I have tons,
Yeah.
especially since moving here. It's like, that's not the problem. So if you're going based on that, then obviously this isn't going to work out. But,
Yeah. And that's probably
it's,
not something you can just record in your house with no
no.
crowd. That
I
wouldn't.
mean, you could try, but,
Yeah, that'd be difficult.
Yeah, it's,
Wouldn't come
when people do
across.
their Netflix specials, like I've been in the crowd for those things, and they have like a set list, and they'll record the takes that they want, and they have a paid audience, so everyone's like laughing and clapping.
Uh-huh.
And they can cut and be like, I'm going to do that one again, you guys. So like
Yeah.
it's kind of like set up to, you're not going to fail if you have a special. Like obviously it was pre-recorded and planned with that audience. So yeah, so having an audience that I was taped with that actually was laughing and weren't paid to was good. So it's just been difficult. Like this whole year, everything's been crazy. I just got back into my accounts as me.
Yeah.
And having to like deal with the guilt of coming here, bringing this drama in away. I don't know. It's been a lot of me to deal with, and it's pretty lonely. I'm lonely, and there's no work for me here. So, as much as I've tried, they're like, it would be insulting for us to. I'm like, no, it's not insulting. I'm, because I guess my bio is like more than any company could even compare to, and so it was always like that, and I didn't care. I was like, I just want to work. I just need a purpose here. Like I need to do something that I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody, they're behind the times here. Let's just say that they're just behind, and this isn't the place to be if you're trying to be in entertainment. So
sure. And is that something you want to stick in? Is entertainment?
Yeah, I mean, I've written great ideas for reality shows and comedy sketches and stand up, and trying to get back into the reality show thing is being pitched right now. There's lots of stuff that I'm good at. It's just no one has it to offer here. So certainly I'll probably be moving or traveling again, for work, but it's been pretty, hard to be here, especially when I couldn't access myself,
Yeah, it's got to be tough.
Now, it's been crazy.
Is your daughter out there?
Yeah, so that's the best part, is the family part, and I try not to be bitter about the other parts, but it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I have to. It's hard. I'm human. It is what it is.
Yeah. Family is important. Sometimes you don't realize that until later in life.
Yeah, and that's when COVID hit, I went, what's going to hold my hand in a hospital bed if I never get to see my family again? I would never forgive myself. So I just, drove across country and just went like, I'm here, I'm here, and I don't care what anyone says. And that has been the best part.
Yeah.
I just wish that it would have been more evened out maybe, or I don't know. I know that there's a reason that I came here. I'm just scared to figure out what it is, comparing it to what's happened so far.
Yeah. Well, just hang in there. I mean, I think with a lot of the stuff you're talking about, like with the reality series ideas, and I mean, a lot of that can be done, long distance.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Now that I'm accessing my stuff, it can be, but, I have agents, but agents, call you for castings that are happening there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's kind of difficult. I mean, I'm grateful that I did a national commercial like in February, right before COVID hit, and those checks I've literally lived off of. And I was so butthurt about, like, not butthurt, but just annoyed with the process. Like, 'cause I hadn't done a commercial in so many years. I signed with a new agent, booked a commercial within the first month. And I was like, oh my God, now I know why I hated this.
Yeah.
Because such long hours, hurry and wait. And like, it's like call time 4 a.m. downtown. And you're like, what the fuck? And you're sitting there all day and they don't even get to your scene or even use you for that one scene. You're all, and you're in traffic for 4 hours on the way home, and they're already texting you like, did you get the call time for tomorrow? I'm like, I'm still driving home.
Was
I'm
that
still driving home? Like, no, I haven't. Oh, well, your call time's at 2 a.m. Okay, great, because it's 10 p.m. right now. So I probably won't. It was just like, I called the agent and went, oh my God, this is fucking stupid. I know why I stopped doing this.
Now,
But then
was that in
now look at it.
California or Louisiana?
Huh?
Was that out in California where you did the shoot, or Louisiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the E-Trade commercial, or for a bowl of soup. You can see it on YouTube or whatever, but it's still airing, thank God. And like literally that, I mean, I should be grateful for that commercial. But at the time I was like, oh, but now super grateful.
You have an agent now, correct?
I do, but they're all in California.
Well, you know what? Here's what you need to do. You ready for this plan?
Okay.
Just came to me. You need to
Oh.
get your agent to call up Geico and get you in one of their commercials using the cherry pie thing.
And Geico?
Yeah, isn't that that's the ones that did the rat round and round commercial, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's
That's a great idea, actually.
give them a call tomorrow morning, okay?
The call thing is not as easy as you think. Like, I've emailed people and, like, there was, like, I wanted to be on, like, Tyler Henry so that he could, like, reach out to Jani. I thought that would be, like, a great show. And they never replied. Like, there's a lot of, doing stuff on your own is not well received.
Yeah.
And that at all. Unless you, enter some reality show contest and it's like, you'll get paid $100 for the day. And you're like, no. But people in the world are like, I'm going to be on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're down for it. Yeah.
Do you ever attend like conferences? Like not conferences, but conventions and stuff?
I have. I've done like conventions, autograph conventions and stuff like that. And I know that there's some around that, people have reached out to me and said like, oh, would you do that? I'm like, yeah, totally. I mean, at this point, I fucking mostly do anything.
Yeah.
Anything, still within reason, but yeah.
Okay.
And more compromising now than I've ever been, I'll say.
Yeah. So looking back on your career, I mean, you've done a lot of stuff. Is there anything that you really still want to do or wish you could have done?
Yeah, like I really want to be like on Dancing with the Stars.
Have you tried?
No, I mean, honestly, like, no. So I tweeted about it like 4 years ago, and like one of the people who are on that show were like, we hate that.
Hate that? Why?
Yeah, like whenever somebody tweets about being on it, we totally automatically just think that they're thirsty and we're not into it. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I deleted the tweet. But I was like, that's so fucked up. It's so typical of Hollywood. It's like, God forbid you even remotely need the part. They can smell that shit from a mile away. And they're like, no. You know what I mean? It's just
see, that would be a perfect idea too. Just like my Geico commercial idea.
Right. Well, I mean, everyone's just like, yeah, it's not that great. And then they steal it.
Yeah.
You're all, oh my God, somebody. Yeah, that's happened to me a couple times already. Because I'm very trusting, which is also the problem. Yes. Super trusting. And yeah, I reveal too much. I don't hold my cards close to my chest. I'm like, I just trust people when I shouldn't. And they will totally steal your ideas.
Have you learned your lesson a little bit with that?
Yeah, well, clearly, yes. Now, my stepdad's like, why do you keep doing this? I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's my fault, like I deserve it. But in a way, I always didn't listen to my intuitions, and now I totally will. Like,
good. Okay.
Yeah. Like, something told me to be afraid of that girl, like, day 2. And my mom was like, this isn't California. She also talked me off the ledge. But, I should have listened to my intuition because, that's your God speaking to your soul or your voice or whatever that is. But
yeah. And that's usually going to be right.
Yeah. It's anytime I've ever gone back and thought about that, like intuition and second guessing it, it was always right. Like, it was always like, why didn't I listen to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is like a big thing that I'm working on. Like, don't second guess your intuition ever.
Mm-hmm. So you think you would write a third book?
I think Being Here is probably written itself, if I'm being honest. But the whole book company thing kind of put me on it's all about trust so far. I'm learning a lot about trust with people, myself, my generosity, all of it, whatever it is. Trust is an issue. And my daughter was like, it's so cute how naive you are about life. And it's kind of true because I'm like, I just didn't realize people were so evil. That like,
Yeah.
she's like, that's really cute. Yeah, they are. And it's really cute that you at this age just now get that. Like, I was like, wow. And it's true. I really have been, ignoring, like, I try to see the good in people or believe that not everybody's out to get you, take your job, throw you under the bus. Like, and that's really naive of me to think.
Yeah.
Especially, the career I've been in and the people I've met. Like, I just refuse to believe that, my daughter's like, it's really cute, but yeah. Like, okay, not that cute. So
your daughter seems like a very cool person. From what I've read about her in your book and everything.
She talks me off. She's the only one that gets exactly what I'm saying at all times and doesn't judge me, which is a blessing because I really needed that since I've been here. And, my parents just don't, they don't get it. They're just like, what? So it does seem like I just wrote a third book, and I probably could. I maybe would self-publish. I just don't know. You
probably could self-publish these days, easy, and sell it on your own site.
I think that would be the route I would have to take, and probably would take, because then at least you get paid legitimately for anything, all of your efforts. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you should do that, Bobbie.
Okay.
Joe says so.
I definitely would think about. I mean, it would not be hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you still speak to Charisse Neal, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Because you guys had a podcast together at one time.
We did, and now my daughter's taken her place.
Yeah.
It's a podcast, and we renamed it. It's coming out tomorrow. But yes, I still do talk to her, and we're in the middle of pitching a new reality project. She's a part of it. So is Athena. Gretchen Bonaducci, Sebastian Bach's wife, Suzanne, and Conchita. I can't even say her last name, but she's from like Brazil and she's famous. Her dad was like the dictator or some shit. I don't know, but she's in it, and we have a really good reality show idea that we're pitching right now. So fingers crossed that happens.
Yeah, best of luck with that.
Yeah, I just keep saying it's happening. I really wish it would happen yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, who do we need to blow to get this thing done?
No,
like,
you don't want to do that.
Like who? My daughter's all, get serious, like you'd be blowing anyone. I'm like, yeah, but I still said it. Who do we need to blow to get this thing happening?
Yeah.
Like, you're funny. Yeah. So, hoping for the best.
Well, good. So your podcast with your daughter, what's that about? What do you guys do?
She's, it's just our openness, and usually it's me trying to gross her out to no avail, and she's got my sense of humor, so we just go back and forth. I don't know. I mean, some people have lots of questions. That's what most of the first show is about, and some of the questions are like random. Like, she's like, she's dated the same guy for like 10 years, 11 years, and she comes to the show. We recorded it. She's like, yeah, Trent's dad said that y'all had sex. I was like, wait, what? She's like, yeah. So Trent's dad says that you guys used to have sex when you lived here before you moved to California. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? She's like, no. I'm like, wow. So we ask, fans or whatever, is there any questions they have? And like, we get some pretty random ones, but then we just go on tangents and talk about my parents, my mom, we just talk shit, and it's really funny. She's my daughter.
Is it a weekly episodes, or how often?
Every other Friday. Yeah, the first one comes out tomorrow.
And fans can email you questions, or how do they get the questions to you?
Yeah, they can email me. We usually post and promote on Facebook, and then we'll be like, if you have any questions for next week, just put them here, and my daughter will like log the questions. And she'll come to me. I'm like, somebody asked that? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what? Okay. So yeah, it's just she and I being goofy and telling stories and
that's
answer
awesome.
questions, and just, mother-daughter, but so unseemingly because we're more like friends.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And you'll always have that recorded too, to look back on.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, Bobbie. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Yeah. We'll have to do it again sometime, and I will put your website link in the show notes so listeners can go visit your website. And you have all kinds of merchandise on there. What's up over there?
I do.
Okay.
I have merch, 8x10s, books, all kinds of stuff on there. That's where people can buy them. And yeah, and then people can follow me at Brown Bobbie on Instagram and Bobbie Jean Brown across all other social media platforms.
And it is you now.
It's really me. Yeah, it is really me. Yes.
All right, Bobbie.
The
Well,
girl
listen,
has a dog like mine and blonde hair and blue contacts now, but still not me.
that's fucking scary.
It's so scary.
Well,
Yeah.
best of luck with that situation also.
Super weird. Thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere, Bobbie. Hang on the line for a minute. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's all for this week. Join us next week for another episode of the Rock and Roll and Coffee Show podcast. Available on all your favorite podcast listening platforms.